Welcome to Another Thing. I'm Larry Menti. Dementia, memory loss, agitation, confusion, the inability to care for oneself. Those are some of the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Over 5 million people have it in our country. How close are we to a cure? Today, we're looking at how Alzheimer's is being treated and what its impact is on the family. We begin with reporter Ellen Kolodje. Ellen.
Thank you, Larry. The numbers surrounding Alzheimer's disease are staggering. 1 in 9 Americans over the age of 65 are living with this disease. And it not only affects them, it can be devastating for those who love them.
But to know the person that she was and everything that she had accomplished and was capable of, and just to kind of see that fade away day after day, that's probably the most difficult part.
Elena Seller's mom, Jean, has been living with Alzheimer's for 5 years. Elena gave up her full-time job to take care of her mother, and it hasn't been easy on anyone, especially when Jean becomes angry and agitated.
Dementia comes with a lot of paranoia, suspicion, combativeness, and sometimes just to help myself to cope, I just try to remember, this is a physical illness. There are changes taking place in her brain.
Changes that doctors say they're learning more about every single day.
This is an exciting time for neurologic diseases, but particularly for Alzheimer's disease, because we understand so much about the biology of the disease now that we're able to link that into treatments and development that might be able to prevent the disease or delay onset or slow down the course of the disease.
Dr. Carol Lippe is the director at the Farber Institute for Neuroscience at Jefferson. She says even though there's not a cure yet, if someone finds out they have Alzheimer's in the early stages, there are many medications and therapies that can help with memory, focus, anger, and sleep.
We like to get people where you do everything you can to fight it. And the earlier, the better.
On top of medication, Dr. Lippe says other things can help, such as a heart-healthy diet and regular exercise. Some experts also suggest using music or pets to soothe someone living with Alzheimer's. But the key to any treatment is getting someone tested right away.
To me, it's a very exciting time, and it's a time of great optimism because we could have a time where you get an Alzheimer's screen, when you get a mammogram or you get some other health screening test. This is looking down the road, and you could get an intervention to reduce the chance you'll get the disease if you're a positive.
Elena Sellers knows there probably won't be a cure in time for her mom. For now, though, she just wants Jean to be comfortable and do what makes her happy.
Just to have people show interest in her and just let her talk, which is her favorite thing. As long as she has a listening ear, she's happy. So if we can have that a few times a week and, she's healthy, she's safe, that's our hope.
Now, there are a lot of resources available for people dealing with Alzheimer's disease. So if you'd like more information or you'd like to donate money, just go to alz.org. Again, that's ALZ as in zebra.org. Reporting for Another Thing, I'm Ellen Kolodje.
All right, thank you, Ellen. To talk more about Alzheimer's disease, the research, and just how close we are to a cure is Robyn Kohn, manager for the Greater New Jersey chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, and Jeff Borghoff, who is an Alzheimer's Association National Early Stage Advisor and has early onset of the disease. Thank you so much for being here. Robyn, I'm going to start with you.
Thank you.
How close are we to a cure?
Well, certainly today we're a lot closer than we were even 5 years ago. There are so many clinical research advancements that are ongoing within really just even the U.S. alone.
But every once in a while, there is a study that jumps out and they go, oh, this is it. It's happened over the last couple of decades. We've got a cure. We're so close to a cure. And then it fails. The Eli Lilly study just failed, it seems like.
Yeah. That was when I first got that news that failed. I was crushed a little bit to hear that news, and then I was interested very deeply in the following news that was to come out from Biogen, because that's the test that I'm on. And
You're involved in this study now.
I am. It's the Biogen aducanumab trial.
And how are you doing with it?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing very well. Yeah.
And is there great hope for this now?
There is indeed. I was really encouraged by the results of the phase 1b study results, and I remember kind of jumping out of my seat and saying, yeah, I mean,
we haven't said the name of the drug yet, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce it, so...
But it's pronounced aducanumab.
Aducanumab.
Yes, yeah.
And so there's hope for that. But I would imagine, you said there's all these clinical studies going on across the country right now. Every time something happens, I imagine you get phone calls.
Absolutely. We want to be able to really help all families who are suffering from dementia-related disorders. So when we hear advancements, we get very optimistic. And certainly, we have a trial match program that is available in our country where healthcare providers and families and those who are suffering from all really stages of dementia can get certainly the information that they need from their healthcare providers to join a clinical trial. And the more individuals that we have entering clinical trials, the closer we will be for not only continued research advancements, but hopefully a cure.
Sure. Yeah, one of the discussions I recently had with my neurologist was that we have the funding, but one of the largest deficit that we have right now is actually getting people to volunteer for the clinical trials.
That is fascinating to me. You would think that if someone has been diagnosed with early onset of Alzheimer's, they'd want to be a part of these studies because the alternative is so tragic. You've found what he's saying is true?
Absolutely, and that's why as manager of programs and services, we speak about the opportunity to get involved in clinical trials, and it all comes to bear when we speak about educating families and healthcare providers about clinical trials.
What are the reasons people give for not wanting to be a part of it?
People are unwilling to be, quote unquote, a guinea pig. People have to understand that they're not guinea pigs. I have Alzheimer's. I know what my prognosis is. Statistically, I have about 4 to 8 years to live. To me, you know, no pun intended, but it's a no-brainer. If I have the opportunity to go into a trial that could potentially save my life, but save, you know, countless other lives, it's just, I've got to do it. There's just no reason. It's inexplicable to me why people wouldn't want to do it.
Well,
but I have to. Pardon me.
No,
but I have to appreciate and also not be judgmental why they would choose not to.
I would think the promise of success over and over again and failure may be the reason that people are reluctant, because instead of going through trials, they think to themselves, I just want to enjoy the time I have left.
Well, quality of life is critically important. And the medications and the compounds and agents that are in development will help not only with slowing the progression of the symptoms related to the disease of dementia and/or Alzheimer's disease, but certainly the promise of better quality of life. We have to continue to inform, educate, and bring awareness of our trial match program, as well as, you know, the advancements that are ongoing throughout really not only the United States, but the world.
Right, well, in that regard, why don't we tell people how they can get in contact with you and be part of the trial match program?
Right, if individuals would be interested in speaking with their healthcare providers and going online to alz.org and seeing that we have a trial match program, then the conversations could be started.
If you can just talk about how important this is for people to sign up for these trials for you, and since you're going through a trial, what they can expect.
Certainly. I go to a very nice facility, and they are very thorough. They really test you out. You're very comfortable when you're going through the trial. They really treat you like royalty because they know what's at stake, and they know the They know the sacrifice that you're making. And so when I go to the trials, when I go to my trial sessions, it's once a month. It's an infusion, just like an intravenous infusion. And they test my blood beforehand. They offer me coffee or donuts or whatever I need. They actually pick me up and drive, because I can't drive anymore because of the disease. So they pick me up, they take me to the facility, they treat me like a king, and then they drive me home afterwards. And while I'm there, the infusion usually takes about an hour. They test my blood afterwards. They check all my vitals. They make sure I'm doing very well. It's a very, very good
and
medical
with what's
staff.
at stake, this is a small sacrifice.
Oh, absolutely.
Of time.
Yeah, the reward far outweighs the risk, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate the both of you. Robyn Kohn, manager for the Greater New Jersey chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, and Jeff Borghoff, who is an Alzheimer's Association's National Early Stage Advisor and who himself has early stage onset of the disease. We'll be right back. Still to come, cults in our own backyard. That's next on Another Thing.